Okay, so I have not heard your name pronounced, and I'm not the best with pronouncing names. So, is it Shadi Khalek? Shady Khalek? I'm Shadi Khalek. I'm not sure, man. Let me know. Sorry, my apologies. This is the first that I've seen your stuff, and I haven't heard your name pronounced, but I think it's Shadi. I think that is how that's pronounced. Shadi Khalek. Let me know. My apologies if I'm butchering that, which I'm sure I am. Not bad. I'm sorry. 6'5", 240. You know what I feel? You know what I'm gonna say about this? Off the bus. 6'5", 240. That's an off the bus kid. 1 through 3 highlight. I like it. I just want to check. Let's see. Rampart, Pueblo East, Pueblo Central. Cool. All right, let's check. Let's see what we got here on. Okay, no title page. So, obviously that's not the end of the world. 49 seconds. Okay. We're going to start this over. Use an arrow because you if you're a lineman or an attached tight end or a like a nasty split off tight end or something like that, if you're in here, use arrows, okay? Because if you use a circle and it's big enough to circle these three, obviously it's defense, and I'm assuming you're the DN, but you could be the D tackle. I'm not sure. So use an arrow when you're on the line. Yeah, that's scary. Cut it. Right? Once the pick is made on this one, you could cut it. Okay, it's you. Oh, yeah. Oh. Solid get off there. I like that. Wow. Untouched? You don't leave a kid like that untouched? Yeah, quarterback's not going anywhere. That's solid. Yeah, that's scary for a. Oh, man. I like that. That's a problem. Perfect number, too. 55, because you're a problem. You just kind of blew up that whole play. Yeah, let's watch it again. I mean, it's not long, which is, I think, one of my critiques here is that it's not long, or at least longer. You could probably add another 40 seconds to this, I'm assuming. That's yeah, that's a problem. Okay. Oh yeah, talented man. Um, and that's what I like, especially for you off the bus type kids, where you just already look, where you have the attributes that make somebody want to find out more about you. That when they do go and watch your film, that it lives up, and that's great. That's great. That's now. So your 1 through 3 highlight is just under 50 seconds. Okay. And then we look at Rampart, which I'm assuming was game 3. That's 44 seconds. Pueblo East is 1 minute and 18 seconds. And then Pueblo Central is 46 seconds. So I feel like you could make this a little bit longer. Now, this is actually fairly solid enough to make somebody say, yeah, I want to watch more. And since I don't have game tape on you, if I want to watch more, I just have to watch another highlight. Dude, this, you have it on this one. I'm actually glad I'm watching another highlight. Here's who you are. Here's your number. Versed East. East who, right? Denver East, Pueblo East, which obviously is Pueblo East, but if you're going to put that there, you don't necessarily have to. I would rather see your name. If you want to have your number on there, is perfectly fine. And then the school you go to, your school, right? You can put week 2 or whatever down here. Stats aren't a big deal. I'd rather you replace these stats here with height, weight, and grade year, height, weight, grade year, and then let's get some contact on here. But title page, you know, let me see if you happen to have music. No, good. Okay, so obviously we want arrows. I think we already saw this play though from your last one. Yeah. And then cut this. All right. If they make a pick, cool, cut it because you did make that play. All right. That was an aired throw because of you. Great job. Cut to the next one. Don't really necessarily need to see the celebrate. Dude, yeah, this could have. I mean, it was. You look like the wacky inflatable arm flailing tube man for a quick second, but in like the most intimidating, scary way ever. If I was a quarterback, I'm switching to defense. This should be on your on your 1 through 3. Yeah, extend it because there are certain things that aren't being shown in that 1 through 3 that you have that could be. We see what type of pass rusher you are, but you know, seeing that run, seeing you break up that run, I would obviously I would like to see you get off that block, but you can't win them all. And you're getting held, and you're still fighting. Good work. No complaining on the holds. I actually really do respect that. Yeah, they got to get the ball out quick because of you. Now you can cut it. Like you don't. We don't need to see you walking back or anything like that. But I mean, honestly, that's just me really nitpicking because certain players, right? There's a set of rules, or not really rules, but guidelines or whatnot that isn't necessarily for everybody. Everybody ain't made equal. So sometimes you'll see stuff and you're like, bro, you don't necessarily need it. Like, I think for your Twitter, this doesn't need to be up here. You can just erase that, but you also have a name that's not so generic like mine is, right? Like Ryan Wesley is very generic, but for anybody else watching this, like this isn't necessary. The only thing that needs to be up here is your first and last name, and then if you have a name that you actually go by on a daily basis. So if somebody was like, you know, trying to figure out where you were and they're using your actual first and last name and people have no idea because you go by something else. Like I go by Wes, and there are people out there that only know me as Wes and they forget that my name is Ryan. And so sometimes it's, you know, it's good to have that. Otherwise, I just like to keep this clear. And then yeah, your title page, 26, class of 26, 6'5", 240, defensive end, 3.0 GPA, Discovery Cannon, and Discovery Canyon, not Cannon, Canyon. Then NCAA ID, perfect on there. Okay, I would say add an email and your Twitter handle, and you're good to go. Your pin tweet, update it, update it, update it. I would like for you to actually build out your 1 through 3 a little bit further, and then pin it. And yeah, don't use a screen record, just create the film and then pin that there. I think I saw that you had, yeah, of course. Of course, CSUP offered you. That's smart on them. I don't blame them. I mean, you're right down there. But yeah, man. Yeah. I Shadi, I think it is. Shadi Khalek. Yes. Absolutely. Not bad. I just want to see you put your film together a little bit more to have a little bit more to put out there for people to watch, because for a player like you, a well put together highlight tape could land you on higher radars, right? You just think about it, man. It is on you guys to do your legwork to try to get recruited. You know, the game has changed. It's not what it used to be. So a lot of these college coaches, sometimes you just got to cater to them. It is what it is. And I think if you were to build your highlight, your 1 through 3 out better, I think it would be easier to push. Like, you're going to get recruited. You're 6'5", 240. So you're going to, at the very least, be looked at anyway, but your film backs up. Your play on film backs up. And just from watching that little bit, I want to know more. So I would say your film technically does its job, but it could do more, you know, and when it does more, it reaches a higher audience is really where I'm going with that. But great job. Yeah, I'm glad you sent me your stuff. Good work.